Hey guys, it's Rebecca. So I really wanted to put up this video this Saturday, but I couldn't because I was not keeping well. So here I am. I still have the cold and all of that, but I still wanted to do it. Hence, I'm doing it now. So today I'll be doing my September wrap up. Sorry, my August wrap up. So I had read total of 8 books in the month of September, and it was a okay month. So I read 8 books, and among which seven are fiction and one is non-fiction. You guys know, if you guys have been following me for a long time, you know I'm not a huge fan of non-fiction, but I picked up an autobiography this time. So yeah, let's go ahead with my wrap up. So the first book that I read in this month is Station 11. I'm not going to talk a lot about this book because I already have a review about this on my channel. I'll put the link to the review in the iCard as well as description. And most of these books which I'm going to talk about is already reviewed in my channel. So I'll put those videos links as well. Do check them out. So now coming back to Station 11. So I rated this book of 4 stars. I really enjoyed it and it was a good read and I didn't regret reading it. As I told before, I'm definitely going to try many more Emily St. John Mandel's writing or works. The second book that I read this month was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I enjoyed this book as well. So it is a 4.5 star rating for me. I didn't think and I didn't know it was like an adult rom-com book, but after I read, I got to know it. But I'm an adult, so yeah, that's okay. But I'm not a huge fan of those type. But the plot, the main plot, the characters were exceptionally done, so I really loved it. And I will definitely read Emily Henry's more works. I mean, I have heard a lot about her other works, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pick them up as well. The third book is like a children's book, which is Malgudi School Days by R.K. Narayan. So this book I bought it from a second-hand bookstore, and I had been putting it off for so long, and once I even picked it up, but I left it midway because I wasn't very fond of it. But this time I picked it up because I'm that kind of a person. If I buy a book, I will be very sad if I don't read it and just give it away. So I really wanted to try and read it. So then I took that book, I started reading, and I must say I regretted not finishing it before. Maybe that time I wasn't in a mood for it or any something like that. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it, and it was kind of like very heartwarming book to read. So I too missed my school days reading to it. So yeah, it was kind of nostalgic. Not that I had similar occurrences, but yeah, the mentioning of school and the village, countryside friends, and all of that, yeah, that brought a lot of nostalgia in me. The fourth book that I read was a thriller mystery type book, which was Free Fall by Jessica Barry. So I kind of, not always, but sometimes there's a newspaper which we buy here, and it has in on Sundays an edition in which there are pages dedicated for books, and there they recommend books. So from there I saw this Free Fall and I took it with because of the synopsis, and I don't regret reading it. Like, it's a one time read thing. I'm not gonna reread it again, but I really enjoyed reading it, and I gave it a 3.5 rating. Considering the fact that this is the debut novel of the author, she has done a good job with it, but there are many plot holes. I really like the plot of this book, and even I kind of like the characters as well. But there were a lot of plot holes in this book, and that's the reason I gave it 3.5 star rating. The next book that I read was The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. So I buddy read it with my cousin, and we both, I mean, it's a quite a popular book, and there are so many people who love this book. But this book had many tropes that I as well as my cousin both didn't like. So we definitely enjoyed reading this book, but it wasn't like our top favorite type of books. I gave it a 3.5 star rating because I had you can check my review out. I had a lot of tropes in this book that I didn't like. So the next book that I read was a classic. So I was not intending to pick another classic, But yeah, I anyway took it, and it's The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. This also I got from the newspaper recommendation, and I hated this book. I totally hated this book. Okay, I couldn't like the main character at all. I found him very irritating and frustrating. Okay, I didn't like the book at all. I gave it like 1.5 stars. I didn't like it. And I was planning to give it 1 star only because of one particular character. It became 1.5. Otherwise, I would have given it 1. I hated this book. I hated the main character a lot. I mean, his the way he thinks itself I don't like, so I didn't like this book at all. Yeah, the next book that I read was an autobiography. It's by an Indian author, and it's the autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, which is known as The Wings of Fire. It was very motivational, but at the same time, I'm not, even though I'm a science student, I don't want like extreme science in a book. And I don't blame him, because yeah, he worked in various scientific institutes, so in his biography there should be stuffs related to that. So I don't blame him. It's just me, and it's just my personal opinion. There were lots of physics terminologies, and there were lots of missiles and rockets and all of that. Like, there are people who find that very interesting, but then for me that wasn't my cup of tea. But yeah, at the same time, the book was very motivational, and this man, he was a very good leader. He has very good leadership qualities. But when I think again, I kind of find it disappointing, because this book was published in 1999, I think. But I really was looking forward to read about his presidential years and all of that, but that wasn't there in this book because it was published long ago, long before that. So yeah, I rated this book a 3.5 stars. The next and the last book that I read this month was Life is What You Make It by Preeti Shinoy. So now, talking about this book, it was a surprising read for me. So one of my cousins, when I mentioned about a mental health book, she recommended this to me. She told it's a good book with a good health representation, and it's like a 1 day read. You can go ahead, pick it up, and she gave it to me. So I read it, and yeah, I really loved it. The way the book represents mental health, it was done very good. I really loved it, and but at the same time, I didn't like the author's writing at all. But the characters and the plot, it was very well done. So I really liked it, and I gave it 5 stars. So apart from that, there's a book that I DNF this month. I mean, I hate DNFing books, but this book made me DNF. So this book is there, which I have mentioned in one of my uh, previous videos, not recent one, a very old one, which is called Who Stole the Cookies by Dr. Alex Matthews. So it's like a non-fiction book where a counselor speaks about his patients' problems. So what they express to him. So that's what is written in that book. So I got it as a gift when I passed my 10th standard because of my marks and all of that. So I read it. I started reading it, and after the first 2 3 chapters itself, I was finding it very difficult to read, because, like, okay, if he's talking about the patient's problems, I expect him to give a reply, like, expect him to give a solution for it. But whereas every chapter ends with few questions, and we are supposed to answer for that problem, and I really didn't like that way of writing, and I wasn't finding it captivating, and so I just gave up on it. So yeah, that's the book that I DNF'd this month. So that's it for today, guys, and let me know what are the books that you read in the month of September, that you read in the month of August. I would love to know them. That's it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching my video. Meet you guys in my next video. Bye.